This morning's guest has been marching for babies for over 40 years. Who is she? You'll meet her coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at Coastal Grand Mall, the Grand Strand's premier shopping destination. We're focused on this Monday's signature chef's auction for the March of Dimes. And we're visiting with the past chairman of the event over a 3-year period, the Honorable Lois Eargle, Horry County's auditor. Good morning, Lois.
Good morning.
Do you mind if I call you Lois instead of the Honorable? Not that you're not honorable, obviously.
I'd rather you call me Lois.
Lois is okay.
Old Lois.
You're plain old Lois.
That's
You are not plain old Lois. I know you well enough to know there it is not in your vocabulary.
I feel so like I'm not. You've had such wonderful guests this week.
This week has been a great week. You know, we kicked off the week with Patty Gresco and Kathleen Burrows, the co-chairs of the 24th annual Taste of the Town, which was held on Tuesday night. John Robitaille, who's the upcoming general chair of that event, was on Tuesday, the day of Taste of the Town. I think on Wednesday, Myra Starnes was with us.
She's a lovely lady.
She's amazing, promoting the 26th annual Charles Dickens show and
I remember
festival.
when she started that.
Do you really?
I sure do.
26 years ago. And then yesterday we had a very interesting gentleman, Jim Rosenberg, the new president and chief executive officer of the Burrs and Chapin Company. Fascinating guy.
He is, and I think he's going to do quite well, and he's going to fit in real well in this area.
I think you told me he was coming with you and Joe Fisher to the chef's auction on Monday night.
He is. He said that he was going to be our guest, and I'm really excited about our chef's auction. He just gets, as my grandmama used to say when I was growing up, she'd say, it gets gooder and gooder.
It gets gooder and gooder. I love it. And it really does, Lois. Obviously, it's been tough not having you chairing it this year, but Rigby Wilson is doing a crackerjack job, the new general manager of Fox TV, WFXB, my old station.
Yes.
Right here, the station we're airing.
I'm telling you, they're really going places.
Gangbusters, yeah.
Can't keep up with them.
Family-owned company out of Charlotte. They own the Fox affiliate in Charlotte, ABC in Columbia, WOLO, and now Fox TV here in Myrtle Beach, Florence, Lumberton, and Laurinburg. Great TV market.
Yes. And they have, they are so community-minded. That's what impresses me about them.
Oh, yeah. Rigby is, it's so tough to follow in Lois Eargle's footsteps, though. Isn't that, you meet a lot of folks who say, you know, I had to do this after Lois, after you, Lois.
Yeah.
It's been no fun.
Well, they'll do well, and we'll have a success. Yeah. We've got 15 or 16 restaurants that's coming, that's going to fix their specialty, whatever it happens to be, from steak to all kind of good desserts. Even
fondue. I met the Iron Chef, Tommy, I think his name is, at the Melting Pot.
Yes.
Who's going to be coming in. I think it's maybe one of their first times being at the signature chef's auction, the Melting Pot.
Yeah. The chefs who participate in our chef's auction tell me that they enjoy that event more than any other event that they participate in. They've told me that every year.
Is that right?
And it's just, the people are so great, and the atmosphere is just so congenial, and it's wonderful.
It is. The Myrtle Beach Convention Center Hotel, the Sheraton, is the location of the chef's auction again this year.
That's right. And of course we have our premier sponsor this year is the one and only Greg Everett.
Oh, no, not me. It's this little weekly newspaper that we got.
Myrtle Beach Herald.
How about it?
Every
Thank
time
you.
I think about Myrtle Beach Herald, I think Greg Everett.
That's very kind. You know, Jim Rosenberg said yesterday before the interview, this was great, Lois, traveling around the country to meet so many of the shareholders of Burrs and Chapin. He came across many folks as far away as Chicago who said, why aren't we getting our Myrtle Beach Herald anymore?
You are teasing.
That was the way they would keep up with what was happening in the Myrtle Beach area.
Well, that's one way, because you know, they focus on local, which I love, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And then our Emerald sponsor this year is Johnny Suzuki.
Johnny Dangerfield and Johnny Suzuki coming on strong out there on Highway 501.
Aren't they, though?
What a beautiful location.
Yes. And he owns 6 dealerships across the
Come on.
The state.
I saw their magnificent facility down in Charleston. I didn't know he owned 6.
Yes, he does. And from Greenville on down to Myrtle Beach.
They're
doing quite well and love the area.
Oh, yeah.
They said that they just love the community.
When they come in, they have done they want to participate in everything that we ask them to do. They always are glad to help us out. I saw a great picture of Johnny Dangerfield and the Honorable Lois Eargle in the Myrtle Beach Herald and Hilda Carter's column, because he and his group, I think, are sponsoring the 40 most powerful women, or the 40 women of Horry County. Is that something that you helped kick off, Lois?
Yes, I decided, well, it's time for us to honor some of those women that are elected in positions like, judges, real estate folks, insurance people, and so I was talking to them about it. They said, well, we'll be glad to sponsor that.
Why don't you talk to the Herald about co-sponsoring that, Lois? We put something behind it and help really wrap that up.
We got you on the list.
Yeah, good. You keep us in mind. We'd love to do that. I tell you, I saw in reading about Myra Starnes, she, like you, was recognized by some local magazine as one of the 30 most powerful women in Horry County. I thought, why are those folks pumping up that magazine? We can help honor strong and women who've done a lot in the area.
We have so many women in this area who have done so much, who are continuing to be leaders in whatever field they happen to be in.
Horry County's probate judge, Horry County's clerk of court, Horry County's auditor, and many other amazing
Horry
women.
County has the Chief Justice of the Appellate Court.
The Court of Appeals, Kay Hearn, that's right.
Yeah, and she's running for Supreme Court.
I saw that. Do you think she has a good shot?
She does.
Does she really?
Yeah. She's a lovely lady and would do a wonderful job.
Of course, and another amazing woman, Jean Toll, who's the Chief Justice of the South Carolina Supreme Court.
We're the only state in the United States that has 2 women that heads up the appellate courts.
2 branches of the judiciary in the state. Wow, I did not know that.
Yes.
That's amazing. Of course, Myrtle Beach's Chief Judge, Judge Jennifer Wilson, is also Chief Judge, who's an amazing gal. A lot of women doing wonderful things in the area, Lois. Does that surprise you?
Well,
is that surprising to you, having grown up in Sumter and having lived in Horry County for as long as you have?
It does in a way, but whenever I was first elected in 1976, I think I was the first woman that ever ran for anything.
31 years ago.
But I think that people have realized that women can do a good job at whatever that they happen to dedicate themselves to, whether it be an elected position, appointed position, or volunteer position. And the women who have led the way have done such a wonderful job until it has expanded and expanded, and it's just and I think we've just got a lot more to come.
Oh, yeah.
I'm real excited about it. Yes.
I can tell. I can see it. You're leaning up on a Friday morning. I love it. That's a great testament. And of course, you're leaning up, also excited about the chef's auction. And folks, they need to be calling the phone number today, the 488-3463. They can still line up tickets. They could even line up a table. I think Crystal and Colleen have both said if you want to sign up, and even on Monday, folks can still get tickets to get in. But they can even buy a table today.
Yeah, the tables are $1,500 for a table, and the tickets are $150 each.
Right.
But the thing about it is you get to taste around almost 20 different kinds of foods that are so popular in this area, and it's, as you well know, it's very good. Very good.
Why does the March of Dimes need the money, Lois?
Well, the March of Dimes, there's 1 in 8 babies that are born are born premature.
1 in 8 babies are born premature.
And you know something? They're just doing a lot of research to find out why. Because even women who take care of themselves, who do the right things, eat the right things, exercise, still things happen. And so we are just continuing doing research. Also, we have the closest NIC unit that we have by our area is in Florence.
When you say NIC, you don't mean nicotine. You mean neonatal intensive care.
That's exactly right. For those little babies, that they have all these incubators and things that they have to put them in. March of Dimes has played a part in the equipment that they use.
Really?
Also, in Horry County, whenever a baby is born premature, it has to go to Florence. We March of Dimes furnishes a ambulance to take them there.
Is that right?
Yes,
I did not know that.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Of course, you know, it comes out of Florence, but the March of Dimes they provide the money.
That is at McLeod, the regional healthcare facility up there. They're an amazing operation.
I've been there, Greg, and it's the most humbling experience you'll ever have.
Really?
Because when you go in there and all those babies are lined up in those units.
Oh, yeah.
There's not one sound because they're too weak to cry. You know, and then to know that you've had a part in maybe their lives and helping them to live, because we have testimonies from parents who've had babies that weighed less 1 pound and 4 ounces, 2 pounds and 6 ounces, and that survived.
Born less than 1 pound and 4 ounces or a pound. Wow.
And so, and they have survived because of what the March of Dimes has provided for their care.
Lois.
And they'll tell you, if it hadn't been for the good Lord and the March of Dimes, that their baby would not be here. That's right. And it's every time you hear one of them give a testimony, it just touches right in your heart, you know.
I know. Well, a lot of folks will be giving testimonies. Some of the parents that have come through very, very tough times. I think some of their children will even be there on Monday night. That alone would be worth making the $150 donation, or even $300 for a couple to go.
And you can take that off your taxes, too.
Absolutely. A big portion of that can come off of taxes. Taxes is something you know about. We want to talk more about the amazing lineup. I want to read off some of the confirmed restaurants, but at the same time, real quick, for viewers who may have recently gotten their tax notices, I believe some went up, some may have even gone down.
That's right.
What's the reason for that? And exactly how does the auditor's office fit into the mix there, Lois?
Okay. Well, now the auditor and the treasurer and the assessor, we work very close together.
Right.
The assessor assembles the information.
Right.
I send out the bills.
Right.
And the treasurer collects the money.
Okay, good.
So, and this year we sent out over 300,000 tax notices.
300,000
tax notices.
That's to personal residences and to businesses.
And got 299,000 calls.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
I'm just
probably a lot of calls.
We got a lot of calls about them because of the fact what you were talking about. Some got tax breaks and some did not. The people in Horry County voted in November for a 1 cent sales tax statewide.
Right, right.
And what that did was it took off the school operating taxes from your primary home. That is, if you are getting the 4%.
Right.
That in South Carolina allows you to each individual person to have one primary home.
Okay.
And then if the second homes, then you don't get a tax break. You charge the regular, the 6%.
Right.
And so if you didn't get a tax break on some of your homes, maybe it's because, you know, that might be your second home.
Right.
But your primary home, you should. And let me tell you, be sure that if that's your primary home, that you are getting the 4%, because I have signed people up this year that thought they were getting it and they did not get it.
No.
And if you do not come into office, if you have not come into the office and signed up the assessor's office,
right,
you have to sign up for the 4% in the assessor's office.
In the assessor's office. That is there in the judicial complex in Conway.
That's right. Then when you do that, that qualifies you for the 1 cent sales tax break for the school operating taxes, which is wonderful. And also, if you're 65 years old or older, or disabled, 100% disabled, then that qualifies you for homestead exemptions.
Fantastic.
But the homestead exemption has been cut this year, what it was last year, because of the 1 cent sales tax statewide. They figured it that you get a better deal by doing that than you would. But anyway, you still get some exemptions.
Right.
But I've always said, Greg, if you have a question about your taxes and you look at it, you find out about it, because you might be surprised. You might just be.
They need to call or come by. Now, obviously, we're promoting 488-3463. But if a viewer wants to know more and is concerned about what the assessor has put together and what you've mailed out, what's a good phone number that someone could call to ask some frequently asked questions that you may get? What's a good number in Conway?
915.
Okay.
5000.
915-5000. That's pretty easy, even at 7 a.m. Yeah. 915-5000.
And you ask for the assessor's office,
Yeah.
or the auditor's office, or
Great.
the treasurer's office.
Or the treasurer's office.
And they will connect you.
Of course, the big number for folks to call today, and they can leave a message, 488-3463. And the great thing is, for our viewers in the PD and southeastern North Carolina, who may want to come down on a Monday night, 6:30 is the kickoff, enjoy a special evening, even stay there at the Sheraton. They can get a great deal there. The Sheraton's got some opportunities. They need to call 488-3463 right now.
The Sheraton, they do a jam-up job for us every year, Greg. They have been so kind to us and so cooperative with us and helpful in any way they can, and we really appreciate that too.
I've got to highlight real quick. I'm just going to read the names of some of these confirmed restaurants for Monday night's event because it highlights the tremendous experience. These folks are donating their chefs. They're donating some of the support staff. They're donating the food to be out there to give a chance to really make a difference in fighting prematurity in babies. Abuelo's Mexican Food Embassy right next door here to Dick's Sporting Good and Coastal Grand Mall. Black Tie down there on Main Street. Great location. Divine Dining Group. Boy, they do it all. E-Noodles and Company. Fire Island Tropical Bar and Grill. Folks can come out. They buy the tickets. Have an opportunity to experience all these foods. Flavors Catering. Grand Dunes Group. All the restaurants within the Grand Dunes. Greg Norman's Australian Grill. Ori Georgetown Technical College. Of course, their amazing operation out on both the Conway and Grand Strand campuses. Isla Morada Fish Company, Rio's Brazilian Steakhouse, and 4 more. Sea Blue Tapas Restaurant and Bar. You're getting hungry here at 7 a.m. just hearing all this, Lois. I can see it. You're leaning forward. Sweetgrass Catering, the Melting Pot, didn't have a big enough breakfast. We got to get you out of here. Thoroughbreds Chop House and Seafood Grill. These folks are really making the commitment, and probably others that'll sign up even now just to be out there to get that exposure of having their chefs in front of 400, 500, 600 people, even more out at the Sheraton who can be there. It's a great opportunity. But folks need to get out, and it's black tie optional, so folks can come. One of our folks is going to be wearing his jacket that has a similar logo to this, Herald Real Estate. Our broker in charge for the online real estate company is going to be coming out on Monday night. Kent Strobel from Conway. We're excited. But a lot of folks have never been to the chef's auction, Lois. Why should
you have missed a great treat. Not only will you have food that you have never tasted before, it's wonderful. Right. And not only will you have a wonderful time, and girls, this gives you a chance to put on that dress that you've been wanting to wear to a fancy. If you want to wear a fancy, you can wear a short dress or a long dress.
Say that again, Lois, particularly the single girls out there.
Yes, it gives you girls, it gives you a chance to dress up. Not often do you get dressed up. You know, you buy those dresses, and you use them one time, you want to throw them away, pull them out and come on to the chef's office.
Yes, make a donation to the March of Dimes.
Yes. And then you'll have, but the main thing is we'll be helping babies. Right. That's our main focus. I want to tell you, I donated one year a dinner for 12 people. It was Thanksgiving dinner. Yes. With the dressing and all. And Greg Everett bid, and it was the highest bidder. I did. That was, and it was supposed to be. And spent a lot on that, Lois. He did that because he didn't want to make me look bad. No, there were a lot of people bidding for it. No, not at all. A lot of people bidding high on that. So I ended up taking it to your house, carried it 3 stories up. Right. And we had the best time. Big crowd. The folks are still talking about that. Brad and Miriam Dean still talking about it. Maria Elias Williams, Jay Bolts, the attorney. Folks are still thinking about that meal. Now, did you donate that again this year, Lois? No, I didn't. Oh, no, because you're not chairing it this year. But I'll tell you what, I'll fix one for you. Really? Good. Well, of course, Joe Fisher's going to be in town, the former executive director of the PD division, for the event on Monday night. Folks who haven't seen her in 6 months and she stepped into retirement in Sumter can come out and see her on Monday night. That's a good reason to buy a ticket. Of course, Crystal, who's working so hard, and Colleen Shanley working so hard, both of them, to make a difference in the fight against prematurity every day and all birth defects. They'll be out there working hard, and a lot of volunteers, Lois. Roddy Dickinson and his staff. We have a tremendous. Well, you could not do this event as big as it is without volunteers. Right. And see, the volunteers have to come now. We have to set up. Oh yeah. Yes, and we'll be setting up on Sunday night. Some, or Sunday afternoon. And then Monday all day long we'll be setting up.
Right.
And you know what to say? What goes up must come down.
Must come down.
So
got to take it down that
yes,
night and the next
yes,
day.
That's right.
Myra Starnes donating a lot of her.
She is wonderful.
Yeah.
Myra, we couldn't do without Myra.
Right.
She is so talented when it comes to, planning something like in the theme.
Yeah.
She has all the little extras that needs to make.
Oh,
it
yeah,
right.
yeah.
She's wonderful. She's just great.
She was with us on, I got to say, Lois, since you're a politician at some level, an elected official, she was with us on Wednesday, and she was highlighting that she has these 24-foot long screws that you can blow up, and she decided if any politician ever screwed her, she was going to blow them up and hang them over their office for a month and get on CNN and highlight it. That's what she said.
She probably would, too.
She said she can get some national interest in that by highlighting folks. She's an amazing gal.
She really is.
She is. I've got to highlight some of these live auction items, Lois. Some of these are incredible. His and hers auction item, in addition to the many of the chef's packages that folks can get. A night of royalty from Divine Dining Group, the feast from Rio's Mickey Mouse, a big trip down to Disney World. These are things that folks can only get if they're out on Monday night at the chef's auction. They don't have opportunities to put these things together. The restaurants don't offer them to anyone other than the March of Dimes and some of the other great charity groups. Are you ready for some football? Big experience up at the Carolina Panthers, and of course the USC Gamecocks have offered some donations.
Oh, by the way, we go have one of the live auctions. We have got Graham's Golf Company donated a golf cart with the Gamecock colors.
Is that right?
Yes,
Tremendous. You're giving a plug in for those Gamecocks, Lois. Yes. And you're sitting almost in a Gamecock chair there.
I just noticed that.
Lazy Boy went all out to hook us up at 7 a.m. here. And, of course, Coastal Grand Mall. What about this place?
I'm telling you.
It goes on and on.
And it sure does. And they're expanding now.
Yeah. You see all the work they're doing here at Old Navy. Getting that place ready for much of what they've got. These Caribbean cruises, and every driveway should have one. That's what you were talking about. Grand Dunes Resorts donating, and obviously Isla Mirada and so many others really deciding that the cause. You talked about the neonatal intensive care unit, Lois. You could almost end the interview on that.
Well, it
because
is.
It's such, as you said.
And when you go into that unit in McLeod's Hospital, and you see all those units there and lined up in line, and these little tiny, you can't hardly see them for all the tubes that's running in them, and then the parents there just looking at them. You can't even hold them. Cannot even hold them. And then you look and you say, you know what? I had a part in that child surviving because I participated with the March of Dimes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And every dollar counts.
Yes, and I only 10% goes for administration. 90% goes to March of Dimes.
90 cents of every dollar goes straight into research, education. So many things have to happen on the research side. You know, we wouldn't have thought of that Polio could ever be cured. Go March of Dimes. Without the March of Dimes, it may not have been.
Polio was eradicated, and not one dime of federal money was placed in that. It was through the March of Dimes.
That's amazing. And many other birth defects that are being recognized and treated and cured thanks to the March of Dimes. Every dollar counts. Every dime back then, every dime even counts now.
And whenever a baby is born, a healthy baby, whenever every baby is born in South Carolina, through the March of Dimes efforts, they get 29, I believe it's either 27 or 29 different tests to see if they're going to be healthy 2 years from now, 5 years from now, whatever. And it's just, March of Dimes is just a wonderful. I've been working with them volunteering for about 40 years.
Wow, Lois.
Very good.
In addition to that, Ty, and of course, as a mother yourself, you know the importance of healthy births.
I sure did. I had a set of twins, and one weighed 4'7" and 4'3", so that's...
So they were even premature.
They were premature too.
Wow. What was that like for you, Lois?
It was like we used handkerchiefs for diapers, and nothing fit them. It was little. Their arms was about like that, you know, and it was a very humbling experience. At that time, they had to have what we call, the doctors at that time called a break feeder, and it had a bulb on the end of it, and I had to pump the milk into it because the doctors were afraid that it was so tiny they would have a heart would have a heart problem, and we didn't have, the March of Dimes did not have the what they have today, and so, but it all worked out. And me and my husband, we just took care of them.
You did it, absolutely. Thank you so much for coming in this morning, Lois.
Oh, thank you, Greg. Always wonderful to be with you.
That's sweet.
Yeah,
That's
see you on Monday.
Yeah, we'll see you on Monday night. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with the Honorable Lois Eargle coming up next. 50% of premature births happen for unknown reasons. Anyone's baby could be next. It could be yours. It could be a loved one's. It could be your mother's. It could be your sisters, your aunts, even your daughters. You can make a difference. The March of Dimes is one of the best places to make a difference. Come out Monday night. Even if you can't be out on Monday night, call the March of Dimes, get their address, send them a check, go online, find some way to make a difference. marchofdimes.com, or more importantly, 843-488-3463. That's 843-488-DIME. You heard Lois talk about 1 in 8 babies born prematurely. In South Carolina, that's 168 babies every single week born prematurely. Make a difference. Step out to support the March of Dimes. These 15 restaurants and restaurant groups are doing it along with their chefs and their support staff on Monday night. Get out, 6:30, the Sheridan Convention Center Hotel. Tremendous sponsors, tremendous donors, tremendous volunteers. Make a difference, helping the fight to save babies.